real cases before a real judge.
Plaintiff Deborah Kreplin says the defendant is her daughter, and she's an amazing person. But she's been struggling ever since the sudden death of her fiancé. Deborah's suing her today for unpaid loans. Defendant Laura Kreplin says after her fiancé passed, her whole life was turned upside down, and most times she can't even get up in the morning. Laura is desperate to get her life back on track, but she knows she needs grief counseling in order to start living again.
Start with you.
First, I want to start out by saying I really truly love my daughter. She's an amazing person, well-educated, usually very responsible. But unfortunately, she suffered a tragic loss when she suffered the death of a man she was planning on marrying. It left her emotionally devastated. It left her financially devastated.
How long ago did it happen?
Oh, that happened in September of 21. As a child, I always knew she was going to be an only child when she was born. So I really wanted to teach her to be true and to be honest and to keep her promises. And I wanted her to be able to take care of herself, to be protected. So when she was younger, a child, she'd make a promise that she never intended to keep. For example, we were going to the grocery store or going to a store and she wanted to go to the toy aisle. And you'd get in the toy aisle and you could never get her out. It would be an argument, even though previously she would have said, I promise, I will only stay a few minutes, I won't beg you for money, on and on.
Yeah, that's a shocker.
Plaintiff Deborah Kreplin is suing her daughter, who admits she's been struggling ever since the sudden death of her fiancé.
Go ahead.
Eventually, I decided the solution would be to have her write a contract, that this would not happen. She got to spend 10 minutes at the toy aisle. If she bought something, she had to pay for it herself. If she needed money, she had to save up to get it. Because I knew she needed to learn to be responsible.
What age did that
She was
start?
probably about 5 or 6 years old. Jeez. And I had her sign her first contract under penalty of law. So, again, when she was probably about 6 or 7, it was her birthday, and, what do you want for your birthday? And she said, I want to get my ears pierced. And I said, that's going to hurt, and you're not going to want to get them both done. And she said, oh, yes, I will. My husband said, why don't you let her get her ears pierced? So I said, okay, you can take her to get her ears pierced, but you both need to sign this piece of paper saying she will not come back unless she has both ears done. So they both signed that contract, and I'm sure her ears, I know from the fact that she didn't want to have the second one done, but because she'd signed that contract, she had to do it. And
How old?
She was about 8 or 9, 7, 8, 9, somewhere in there. Part of what I wanted her to learn is that her friend Janelle was just telling her it wasn't going to hurt, because, that's what people do. They tell you, they're standing there, in crap, and then they tell you, oh, it's great, come on in, and that was the point that I wanted her to understand.
Okay. And how did all that work out for her childhood and adulthood?
It worked out really well. We did the same thing when she went away to college.
Okay, so she hasn't had problems?
She's never had a problem until this.
Okay.
It was so sudden.
All right, so let me allow her to give some background, and then we'll get to the specifics of this first time. Yes, let me hear from you.
Your Honor, I love my mom very much. I'm going to start by saying I'm very thankful for her, and she's a really strong woman. After I experienced this loss, I just think stuff that is not important. I can't think straight. I can't get up in the morning, and I'm having trouble focusing on what just regular life things that I'm supposed to be focusing on. And I know my mom wants me to have stability and move forward, but just my whole life was devastated, and I could really use someone to talk to, and I just don't think she hears me. And I'm having trouble because life just keeps going on, and I'm not. And I did get a job, Your Honor. After this, I got out of bed, and it's the best thing I could have done for myself because I needed to have a reason to wake up in the morning and move forward. But I just think that there's so much more important things in life than just rent and money and contracts. And I really, life is really short, and I just want to be happy again. So I really need some counseling or some help.
Will you allow us
back
to
on
sponsor that for you? Meaning we'll arrange it and make sure that you doesn't cause you any financial strain. We can do that for you, and we'd be glad to do it.
Yes.
We'll find a place. Glad you came here. You need grief counseling primarily, and it goes from there.
Thank you. I'm not lazy, sir. I'm not trying to be difficult for people or anything like that. I know I have to just move forward, and I'm 36, and I know she wants to have grandkids, and I'm trying to move forward, but I don't know how yet.
Plaintiff Deborah Kreplin is suing her daughter, who admits she's been struggling ever since the sudden death of her fiancé.
Ma'am, I have zero understanding as to why you would do this at this stage. Maybe you are under a hardship, obviously. Right now, right now, you're under a hardship that if you don't get your money, you're going to be homeless, or you don't have money to buy your medicine, so you'll be in pain. Tell me something.
Well,
for you to do this in this case.
So in order to motivate her to get up, I made her sign the promissory note, which is on page 3.
Promissory note for what, ma'am?
That she would pay me back 2 months of the rent that I borrowed to her. I wanted her to get up and go find a job, and so I said, you're going to have to sign this note that you'll pay me back 2 months.
Anything about getting up and going to counseling?
I asked her to go to counseling, and I want her to go to. I want her to go to counseling.
No, I said, did you say that to her? You're saying all this other stuff.
Yes,
sign this contract. You didn't say sign the contract that you're going to go to counseling so you can better yourself.
I asked her to go to counseling.
So that you're not devastated as you are right now. And we don't have to focus as much on this little money and writing a contract for that. It's more important. I'll give you the money if you agree as part of this contract, you'll go to grief counseling.
I tried to get her to go to grief counseling.
I make it a contract. You try to get her to pay you too. You know how to do that. Put it in contract.
I intended to take her to grief counseling with me. I really want to go to grief counseling with her, if that's possible.
Contract. Remember, you have her write out contracts. That's my point. You had her write out contracts about this little money, but not about what would maintain her as a person. Mm-hmm. She's devastated.
Mm-hmm. Well, she did go back to work, and she has the ability to pay her bills now, but instead of paying me back or using the money herself to go to counseling, she decided to buy a boat. So, I mean, she has the ability to buy a boat. I don't understand why she can't pay her bills and why she can't pay me back.
Did you ask her?
Yes.
What'd she say?
She said something to the effect of, the world's going to end, and we're going to need a boat when LA floods and Miami floods, and we can take the boat around the world and we will all survive.
Did it sound rational to you?
No, it did not. It still doesn't sound rational to me. It still doesn't.
So what does that mean to you?
That means we need help. That means we need help.
Yeah, it sounds like a person that has had a breakdown. She presents herself today as if she is a broken woman, currently in the midst of a breakdown, like even in here. And all you wanted is you write that about my money. I don't care nothing about that counseling. You can break down all you want. I ain't gonna do no contract for that, but I do a contract for this money. And yeah, I know what you're saying, so it's totally unreasonable. Something must be really wrong, baby, for you to talk like that. Nevertheless, sign this contract about this money.
No,
that crazy talk you talking about, the world's about to end and we need to be in a boat. Okay, fine. I know you need some help, but in the meantime, I need my money.
Your Honor, she had signed the contract before she bought the boat.
To get counseling.
Well, climate change is...
Hold on, ma'am. To get counseling, she signed the contract?
No, she didn't sign the counseling, but she refused to take the counseling because she thought the counselors that she checked into had more problems than she did.
Contract. Remember,
that was a good idea.
You're the contract lady.
That's a good idea.
All right, you owe your mom $5,000?
I owe her a lot.
Pardon me?
Yes, I owe my mom a lot. And she bought me clothes, and I didn't even really like the clothes that she got me. So it was like, she's trying to help, you know, but I just think...
Is this part of the money she says you borrowed, the clothes?
Mostly rent.
Okay.
I can't pay my rent every month. It gets overwhelming, you know? That's just the whole thing. It's like every day goes by, and every month I'm expected to pay rent, and I'm thankful for her help. I'm really thankful. I'm gonna get better, you know? I'm sorry.
Yeah, you are gonna get better. You're gonna get better. No doubt.
Plaintiff Deborah Kreplin is suing her daughter, who admits she's been struggling ever since the sudden death of her fiancé.
Go ahead.
Also, I know I have been irresponsible because life is short and I want to spend my money on adventures instead of food.
Ma'am, you don't have to give me any explanation of your behavior. I'm seeing it right now. You don't have to explain to me what is going on. I empathize with you and I pray for you. You do whatever you need to do to make yourself feel better, because you are in the depths of emotional distress. And the only thing that'll bring you out of that is grief counseling of some sort, or whatever you can do day to day to make yourself feel better, short of hard drugs. That's what I advise. Anything short of hard drugs or self-destruction, do it and make yourself feel better. I tell you, like I tell seniors, and I'm gonna lift it up a little more lightheartedly here. Folks coming at her, she gambling, be at that casino all the time. I'm suing them, stop them. How old is your mother? She 85, and she knows she need her money. Okay, is her house paid off? Yeah, house is paid off. Can she eat? Yeah, she can eat. Well, let her do what the devil she wants at age 85 to make her feel good. About some habit. What habit you get at 85? Whatever habit you get at 85, keep it if it makes you feel good. And so that's what I'm saying to you. Do what makes you feel good at this juncture in your life until you're able to work past what is devastating you and troubling you in your spirit, all right? I think you need to have your spirits lifted any way you can every day. Number one way, I think, is grief counseling. And then whatever else you feel, this is a transition. You're going to transition out of it. The memory's always going to be there. It's always going to hurt. You're always going to be traumatized by it. But it'll get easier to accept. And then you try and turn it around in your mind where it becomes a little more easy to embrace. So that's what I advise.
And I'm 36, Your Honor. I don't have a lot of time to meet someone new and start a family, and I do want those things. I know, you know, those are important things I thought I was going to have. The
good news is that age, for the most part, isn't a barrier anymore to have children. So don't let that bear you. But have her sign a contract when she comes to see him, all right? Say, yeah, we need this contract before you walk in the door to see these grandkids. So when she say, can you bring the grandkids? So say, yeah, with a contract. And charge her $5,000 in the meantime, ma'am. But try and think about the things I said, all right? All right, $5,000 to you, and we're going to get you some help. Our staff is going to talk with you afterwards and help you.
Thank you.
All right, God bless you both. Bye.
I'm really thankful for you, and I really just need you to listen to me. And I know you don't know what I'm going through, but I know you're there to support me, and I'm really thankful. I'm really thankful that you helped me.
I want you to know that no matter what, I'm not mad at you. I've never been mad at you for any of this. I just want to get you help, and I believed that doing this was going to make you realize that you have responsibilities in life that you have to fulfill.
Yeah, I do.
Okay? And don't ever forget that I'm here to help you if I can. We both need to go to counseling for this.
After the case, Judge Mathis sent defendant Laura Kreplin to a grief counselor. Here she is now with an update.
Hi, everyone. It's been a year, and we still have the boat. So here we are.
We're thinking about taking some sailing lessons soon. Thank you so much for inviting us home to Chicago. It's really helped our relationship grow stronger. I encourage anyone who needs help with grieving to speak to someone who's been through it so they can also get help. Thank you for all your advice, Judge Mathis. We really appreciate you. We really do.